It is a showdown in Texas between the government and the state of Texas. So obviously you haven't been living under a rock, and I say it all the time. There has been this border crisis going on in the United States for the past year. In fact, December was probably the largest influx. I think it's actually the largest influx of undocumented aliens and incursions with DHS and ICE in the history of since it's been reported. With that being said, there is a showdown going between the Biden administration and DHS and the state of Texas. The state of Texas, if you remember back when they put up razors, they put up all this blocking in the Rio Grande, and then the government came in and said, you can't use this, and then Texas said we would. There's an area in the state of Texas called Eagle Pass in South Texas, and there's a park in that area, a state park. And what has happened recently is that for a past couple of months to a year is the Biden administration, along with DHS and ICE, have been using that area to house immigrants coming into the country who are then going to be transferred to facilities and detention facilities throughout the United States, usually on the border of Texas and Louisiana, to go through their credible fear interviews and asylums. Texas has decided, the governor's decided, they will no longer use that area, and so they locked it up. Well, what has been happening is that's an area where ICE was encountering all of these undocumented aliens attempting to come in fleeing persecution. Right before this happened, there was a mother and two kids who actually drowned in the Rio Grande, and ICE was unable to get there. So, what's happening? President Biden and the Department of Justice has asked the Supreme Court to intervene to allow them to enter into this area. And what's interesting is it's being guarded by the Texas National Guard and the Texas State Police. What is the Texas National Guard? For those of you who don't know, it's a National Guard that is kind of dually controlled by the state of Texas. It's their own National Guard, and as well, federally, they can be enacted as soldiers for the U.S. government. No one's talking about it, but it is actually a possibility that the Texas National Guard, which is governing, which is precluding the federal agents from getting into this area, could be activated by the federal government to then protect the federal government to getting in the same area that the state is saying they can't. It's all convoluted. This is a showdown, a real showdown in Texas. Stay tuned. Follow me for more as we find out more about this story.